they're gonna have to do more crap. Looks like the race is gonna get underway momentarily. Oh, there we go.
All right, so AaronDobbe has started. He's finding one of the 6 small keys to Dark Palace in Link's house, and we find the Bombos medallion in Sanctuary.
Well, I think this is a really good intro to this category. Like, hey, there's just a small key in there. And as you can see, you know, when you pick one up, it gives you a little text box. Same thing's going to happen if they pick up a big key or if they pick up the map or the compass from a given dungeon. You're going to see that text box, and it's going to tell them what that's for. And they'll also be able to see that in their pause menu.
Right. The pause menu is a godsend in this mode. You can tell exactly how many of each key from every dungeon you have, and of course if you have the big key or not. There's a nice little interface at the bottom.
I like the early Houlihan play from Kyong, and I also like ozipone picking up the highly useful map of Ganon's Tower. Sure, that'll come in handy.
Yeah, I have to know what's in Ganon's Tower. By the way...
Spoilers. It's Ganon.
Oh, dang it. Why you gotta spoil things? Alright, so Aaron finds a piece of heart there on the Lumberjack Cave, so far, nothing requiring Aghanim 1. But Aghanim 1's kind of special in Keysanity, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. So there's 2 chests in Aghanim's Tower, and in other modes... Oh, wow.
We have a bow. We have archery weaponry sitting at the mushroom location.
That'll come in terribly handy since they still don't have any real weapons.
At least it's not buried underground like last time.
But yeah, there's Aghanim's Tower chests. Normally, you're going to see keys in there because you have to have keys in order to get through the tower. But in this mode, those keys can be anywhere, and those chests can have anything. So they actually might be important, and we're going to see if any of the runners get tripped up by maybe, you know, kind of forgetting that's there. And oh, hey, this is what you talked about earlier, Bob, the Kyong play here.
Yep, Kyong is making a play I expected him to make. And I expect most runners to do in this mode, and that is just go to the race game and do it. Don't even check, just do it. And the reason for that is in Keysanity, the vast majority of locations are much more likely to have an item. Now, in this case, it was the compass, which is not actually... It was a compass, which is not actually useful for anything. It will... help some runners keep track of the items they have in a given dungeon. That's a new feature of the compass in Keysanity mode. But most runners do not have any trouble keeping track of those items.
Yeah, that's I would say it's mostly useful if you were going to do like a casual play and you were going to save and quit and resume later. Then it would be a lot easier to remember, like, oh yeah, I got like 9 of the things in pod. But yeah, here it's going to be pretty irrelevant. The map, on the other hand...
Right. The map is important. Sort of. The map is now what causes the crystal or pendant to appear on your individual map outside. So you will not know if a dungeon is a crystal or pendant until you either clear it or find the map. And in order to to make sure that happens, the music has been randomized in the dungeons.
Oh, hey, we got another Dark Palace small key in the well, and we also got a lamp from the vendor.
Yep, the bottle vendor has some illumination. And we have the map of Skull Woods. And the hook shot!
Oh, baby.
Oh,
I'm
boy.
liking this start. There's a lot of, a lot of progression items. Not a lot of keys, which is... not super surprising. It's not all that common to get like a giant pile of keys at the beginning, but the progression items are going to help with that.
They are, however, at the moment, progression-ish.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. They can't really get anywhere.
With the exception of the bow. The bow and the lamp, makes Eastern wide open except for its big key. So most people like, oh, bow, lamp, you can go to Eastern. You need the big key. And we don't know where the big key is.
That said, just like in in general in V26-27, Eastern Palace is still going to be a very strong play. So I would expect most of the runners to head over there anyway. They can't
Right.
finish it, but they can collect all the other chests except the big chest in Armos.
And we do expect, one thing you expect in Keysanity is probably multiple double dips into dungeons. Just because it's unlikely that you find everything you need to clear a dungeon before you have to go into it.
Yeah, that's for sure. And you also kind of see those like, I don't really want to go into pod. I don't have all the keys or whatever. And then they go in there and there's probably like 2 small keys waiting for them. So it's definitely trolly like that. And we'll see how much that comes into play.
Yep. So Kyung's going to pick up his bow.
Not gonna lie, I was kind of hoping for like an early book pickup so that we could see somebody just go to the pedestal and just check in immediately.
Yeah. Pedestal, also a much higher likelihood location in Keysanity, just like everything else.
So it's like there was a shield on the bookshelf. And we are now seeing Kyung heading off to South Hyrule, and he's going to check his dam and other assorted things down there.
So Aaron actually did go look at the race game before checking it. Pays off this time, but it's more likely to contain something useful this time around.
Yeah, Ack going with the blind maze as well. Going to be a little disappointed. Save and quit midway through. No reason to pick up that compass.
Looks like Kyung missed the trick with the dam a little bit. If you do that just right, you can hookshot through the block if you push it directly up and get the chest and pull the lever in one go.
And just a piece or heart container sitting in that chest there, so
Yeah, but knowing where everything is or getting those locations checked off is probably the more useful thing in Keysanity mode.
Yeah, and I like this early desert play, just to get that knowledge, what's on the ledge. It's going to be a little while before we have access to that ledge, unless Book shows up. But, there's a small key.
Some kind of small key.
Oh, that's just the worst. When you see one of those on, a location you can't access it, it's just going to taunt you for a while, like, oh, what's it going to be? What am I going to find there?
Oh. Also, one important thing to note, if you pick up a small key or a big key in the dungeon that it's used for, you will not get a text prompt. So that's something I was thrown off by. I was like, wait, what dungeon is this for? Oh, it's this one. Wow, guys. Moon Pearl in Agnes Cave.
Oh boy. Oh, and
What?
Book in Mini Boldorm. Hello. That's desert access right now.
Wow, that's great. At least that book may lead everybody in the direction of Agnes Cave, because otherwise Agnes Cave Moon Pearl is a huge troll.
Yeah, and in Keysanity, a lot of the time you're hoping for you're not going to get trolled by those out of the way spots too much, because you have to explore like everything anyway. So it shouldn't be a problem for most of these runners. They should be okay, especially once they get Book, but we'll see.
There was a Skullwood small key in there as well.
Oh, those are thoroughly useful.
That I believe sarcasm is implied there.
I am never sarcastic. I just want you to know. I know that we've just met. I've never been sarcastic in my life, not even once.
Sure. Wow, red mail over there in Ice Rod Cave. So, just are we sure we're not on easy mode?
It's definitely a really nice reward, but I guess they're not getting much else. Like, they got the bow, the hookshot, and the book, and it's like, okay, well, and the Moon Pearl in one case, but I don't know, like, it doesn't feel very meaty yet. We still need some oomph here. I could go for a sword, I guess is what I'm saying.
Right. I mean, that is the definition of oomph. All right, so we got a couple of new locations here. Uncle, we've got a map. It's a map of Ganon's Tower. Oh yeah, I remember that. We've done Uncle. There's the Compass of Eastern, a small key to Dark Palace again, and a small piece of heart in
nice
Sahasrah's hut.
3 small keys to pod already. I didn't catch if Aaron spoke with Sahasrah to figure out where the green pendant is. That information is actually really helpful in Keysanity, even more so than the standard mode.
Yep, you can get that information there. I believe in Keysanity you also can talk to the bomb shop vendor to get some information.
That is correct. He will tell you where these 5 and 6 crystals are, which, again, very, very helpful information to have, because you don't even know whether you're wasting time if you complete a given dungeon, if it's a pendant. Although, of course, you might have to go in there anyway and full clear.
Right. So, AaronDobbe is the first person to dive into a dungeon. This is Eastern Palace, and we'll see what's in there.
We've got some escape coming from Acktheboker, meanwhile. Just a rippy so far. Some arrows for Aaron. What do you think we're going to see next, Bob? What's the next breakthrough item we're going to get here?
Well, let's see. I'm thinking flute. Take us up to Death Mountain.
Okay. How about a power glove instead?
That also works. That'll get us to Death Mountain.
So that came from the that second chest in escape. Meanwhile, Aaron picked up the powder from the right side chest in EP.
I'm excited.
I love fetch quest, dude.
Well, I just love the powder, just in general. Because, as I've stated before, I'm bad at this game. And
well, me too.
It makes my life so much easier.
Set up for the Death Warp from Acktheboker, and a Ganon's Tower small key in EP. So that could be nice if the GT's big key is in there. Otherwise, it's kind of, who cares?
Yep. So, Aaron will now be heading toward the vanilla big key chest here in Eastern. And we'll see what's there. Just bombs in the dungeon chest in Escape. Which means that Acktheboker will be taking a Death Warp and potentially checking the Dark Escape room.
Yep, looks like he'll do that. Again, there's not really item counting to do here per se, because there's no guarantee that there's any number of non-useful items in any of these locations, so you've got to check every chest. Like, you can't skip one by using counting.
Yeah, trying to set up a Death Warp with red mail is sort of agonizing. As you can see on Kyong's screen.
Agonizing? That's my one.
I wasn't even going for it, but hey, vanilla big key. Like vanilla actual big key for Eastern.
Wow. I don't think I've ever seen that in any Keysanity scene I've done. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I think most people will get that pretty early, so that's not going to be too trolly, but wow. Actual vanilla big key. What are you doing? Go get the big chest.
Just a quick pit stop for some fairies, but
fairies.
Hopefully...
I was confused.
Okay, good. He's not going to forget or anything.
And there are the flippers in the back of Escape.
Nice. All right, so now some of our options are starting to take shape here. We've got access to both Zora and the Ledge and the Waterfall Cave and Hobo and all that stuff. That's all available.
So AaronDobbe is clearing out Eastern Palace without the lamp because he has not purchased the item from the bottle vendor.
Wow. Did he not have money when he was there? That's really unfortunate.
Apparently not. This is why Kyong did the early Houlihan play. And ozipone is going up Death Mountain.
Oh, no. That's really unfortunate. The death for Aaron. And, I mean, he could just continue here, or he could just leave.
He's doing it again. You gotta respect that tenacity. Yeah, I've seen that back room of Eastern troll people in every skill level. In the latest race to finish out the Swiss or the group stage of the main tournament, had 2 people die in that dark room in the back.
It's not very friendly, dude. Those mimics are hard to spot in the dark when you can't see anything.
Looks like the green pendant belongs to Desert Palace today.
That's correct. So we've got that one bit of knowledge and nothing else about what's a crystal and what's a pendant. Hopefully we'll acquire some maps soon. We'll start, assembling that knowledge. We got some Death Mountain from Ack and Ozy. Just a heart container inside, heart piece inside Spectacle Rock.
So Kyong is now heading into Eastern Palace, and he's gonna get through it rather quickly.
Were there silver?
That the silvers? Looked like the silver arrows on Spectacle Rock, but we have no idea where the mirror is, so that's not going to be accessible at the moment.
The one nice thing about Keysanity is because, kind of the progression is so distributed across the world, it's very likely for you to get access to all the locations. So there's a very strong likelihood this will give them the mirror before too long, give them the flute, and so on.
Yeah, so that Kyong gets his hands on the powder. There's the map of Desert Palace. That's not going to help us now. And we have a sword, finally, in the Paradox Cave.
Waiting to see with bated breath what's inside the top half or bottom half or whatever. Paradox Cave?
The middle half.
That one.
A Ice Palace small key, which could be useful in the logic. It's kind of obscure case when that happens, but there you go. We also found a bottle with red potion in it. That will open up the sick kid.
We'll see whether or not the item he has is sick.
It could be.
I'm super excited for this perp block spiral cave.
And it does look like Eastern Palace was also a pendant. It was a blue one.
That's always a joy. But yeah, I mean, that's one of the things about Keysanity. You don't know, like, until you go in there.
Oh! Looks like we have a shovel up on the floating island.
No.
So the thing with this, the thing with the floating island is sometimes you just forget to look at the floating island, and second of all, it's the shovel, so you don't know if it's useful.
Yeah, and Keysanity is definitely the kind of mode where you're just going to go get that anyway.
Just as soon as you get the mirror and the
Spiral
Titan
Cave,
bits.
Yep. Spiral Cave only having a heart container, but still pretty nice. They're only rocking 7 hearts right now. I don't know about anyone else, but personally, kind of like Bob, I suck at this game, so 7 hearts, not quite enough for me.
I will take all the hearts you can hand to me. I may skip a piece of heart occasionally, but if you throw me a big one, I am taking it.
We're seeing a little more Rippy collection from Kyong as he's trying to make sure that if Zora comes into play, that he'll be able to take care of both the ledge and the Zora perches at the same time.
Yeah. So, in addition, in open mode, a lot of people will do this Houlihan play to try to get money early on, but it's, according to the analysis that we've done, it's generally suboptimal because there's so many 300 rupee prizes in the pool early on. I believe in Keysanity that logic reverses because so many of those 300 rupees end up being locked in dungeons or places you can't get them, and so the Houlihan play actually turns out to be very good in Keysanity.
Yeah, I think that's a really valid point. You can't necessarily be sure you're ever going to get those rupee drops, so it's really good play to just kind of set up something like Houlihan if you know how to do it, and go get yourself a big old pile of rupees so you don't have to worry about like walking in and out of the thieves' hut like a billion times. Very nice Armos from Kyong.
So it was just an arrow upgrade on the Armos. I had to make sure to pay attention to it that time because I didn't remember it.
Yeah, I had missed it the first time as well. Mostly retreading by various runners right now. They're all just kind of covering the same ground they each other have covered. Aaron's doing Escape. Ours is doing Eastern Palace. Ack is probably right along the way to do that as well. Kyung, where's he headed? Death Mountain, maybe?
Yeah, I fully expect Aaron and Kyung to hit up Death Mountain soon.
With that said, they don't have a lot of access to things, even from the stuff that's on Death Mountain, so probably the next destination is going to be desert. I feel like even with... So they can only get a very small amount of what's in desert right now without doing something really dumb and bad, which is to steal a small key from the second half of the dungeon.
Yeah, you can get one item from the logic in desert when you have the book. And that's it. You just get one.
And they do also have that ledge item, so they're going to be able to access that as well. But yeah, stealing the small key from the second half would not be in the logic. And I've generally personally found, you know, I don't know, I don't consider myself that good, but I've generally been finding myself that it's not usually that worthwhile to like sequence break the logic in Keysanity. It's much more worthwhile to do things like hammer jump that allow you to skip using a key, as opposed to like try to get clever about like going to check chests that shouldn't theoretically be accessible.
Right. Having to go around and collect 6 keys for pod before you're able to go in there and collect the 14 chests that are available is some sort of ridiculousness. And if you do it just right and you know how to hammer jump and you can find the bow, which we did, you can clear all of pod with just 4.
Yeah, that's correct, and that makes certain sequence breaks like the hammer jump incredibly powerful in this category compared to like a standard mode seed or an open mode seed. We're seeing a hobo check from Aaron, and I missed what was on the island if he looked at that.
Yeah, I don't think I saw it. And wait, what is that? Oh, it's a small key to Thieves Town.
Oh,
Okay.
That's a very nice pickup.
Yeah, so the small key to Thieves Town, that basically gives you access to the big chest. You still need the big key, of course, to open it. And of course, you need the big key just to get back to where that is.
Yeah, that's correct. But going in there, it's just like in, you know, non-Keysanity seeds where you really don't want to go in there if you don't have the hammer to open the big chest in that case. In this case, it's you don't really want to go if you don't have the small key to open that chest. And also we did hear there was a big 20 on Hylia Island, so nothing significant. Oh, very convenient 300 rupees right before Zora, though.
Very nice. That's the sort of thing you like to see. Unfortunately, Aaron still doesn't have enough.
Yeah, I guess he's going to be banking on the ledge having the thing that he actually cares about, and Zora being worthless, but...
There's a mushroom!
Oh, Lord, the fetch
So
quest
question
items,
for you. You pick up the mushroom here. Do you just walk outside and turn it in?
Oh, man. Given the amount of stuff left, I think, yeah, you probably do. Because they're running out of options real quick. Personally, I still think the play is going to be desert, and I think that key on the ledge is either going to be the Desert Palace small key, or it's going to be the Castle Tower small key, and the first 2 chests in there are going to be something.
Oh, boy. Yeah, so the lamp is there. They do still need a way to actually get into Aga Tower.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
They are missing either the cape or another sword. But the great thing about Aga Tower is those chests can have things in this version.
We do see Kyung heading up that way. Are we going to see that Aga Tower, or is he going to go... I don't know if he checked the deep chest and escape.
In addition,
Why do I keep asking if he's gonna check Aga Tower when he can't?
I don't know.
Disregard me.
So in addition, there is another chest that's usually guaranteed to be a small key that is not, and that is the Swamp Palace first chest. So when we talk about the quote first chest in Swamp Palace, usually referring to the second one that you can access without the hammer. Well, this time it's just the first chest in Swamp.
Yeah, that's my favorite kind of troll in Keysanity. The first time you do one, you're like, oh, I'm gonna go into Swamp. I have mirror, I have hammer, I have hookshot. Why wouldn't I? And you walk in the door. There's one chest and a locked door, and you're like, oh, I see.
That thing. Yes. Now, there is a chest that's guaranteed to be a small key in the normal mode that is still guaranteed to be a small key. And that is that chest in Skullwoods that you fall down to on the bottom right.
Yeah,
to
that's
avoid
correct.
you having to go out. So that's still not in the shuffle.
All right, we are seeing this desert play from Aaron, and it looks like Ozipone's heading that way as well after some rupee farming. They both want to get their Zora cash as well.
I kind of think I kind of wish Aaron had grabbed an additional 100 while he was in there, just because he hasn't got the lamp, and the same with Ozipone.
Yeah, it's going to depend on what their routing is, and also how confident they are in dark rooms. But I mean, presumably they're going to remember that they haven't purchased the vendor item. Gosh, I hope so.
And the hammer in desert. Whoa! That's Dark World access, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I guess I was correct that that desert was gonna be the play, but I thought it was gonna be the ledge key, not the hammer.
There you go.
All right. Well, where would you head, Bob? Now that you got Dark World access via the hammer and glove, what's your first play?
Hype Cave.
You know, in Keysanity, Hype Cave is actually pretty hype. It's not Resident Sleeper Cave.
And it's Hype Cave mainly because you're at desert right now and you can just walk over there.
Yep, that is a great point as well. The ledge
now, of
having
course,
the first Turtle Rock small key, meanwhile.
Yeah. Now, Aaron doesn't actually have Dark World access yet, but he will right now.
Yeah,
he's going to go get that pearl.
That's one of those things. You gotta make sure that you don't forget any locations, and Aaron's on top of it, so he's gonna get his Moon Pearl. Ozipone doing the same thing.
And there are some scenarios in which I wouldn't start with Hype Cave, like, you know, depending on where I am, because there's so many different places I want to go.
Ack, meanwhile, made his way over to Zora, and he discovered a very valuable life lesson, and that is do not give your 500 rupees to Zora, because he will give you a red rupee.
Yep, that negative 96% return on that investment right there. Not the sort of thing you want to see. And
both, both Aaron and Ozzy heading over to Kakariko, so I think we're going to see the Village of Outcasts first rather than Hype Cave.
Yeah, that's also an entirely legitimate strategy, probably a more legitimate strategy than mine. I'm just weird. I like to do Hype Cave because later I want to come back when I have it has to do with the Titan's Mitts. I just don't know how to articulate it.
Yeah, no, I think, like, as far as routing around to, like, Village of Outcasts, right, like, give yourself that chance to get Titan's Mitt, go on over there, you know, take the bottom path, do digging game, things like that, do the blacksmith as well. It works out really well if you're able to do that, but,
well, yeah, it's Batman time.
Oh, yeah.
Small key to get tower.
Alas.
Ladies and gentlemen, Vulacin, I have a question for you.
Oh yeah, what's that?
Were you aware that it is in fact required to be Kane?
Is it truly necessary that
It
it be
must in
Kane?
fact be Kane.
Oh
You
my
have
goodness.
quite a treasure there in that Kane of Samaria.
Oh my gosh.
And it was at the witch. The mushroom leads to the cane. So, and the sick kid has the Desert Palace big key.
Wow.
So, now Desert Palace is, finishable.
Well,
Minus that side room.
yeah, I guess you'd have to do it NMG style with the bow, because you don't really have a lot of other useful things to use against the landmines. Oh, that was a pedestal check.
Wow.
I'm having to catch it on the replay. Ah, it's couch cash.
No. Or yes, depending on your perspective.
Press F to pay respects to the pedestal.
Pedestal is in fact dead. But, like I said, it's more likely to be something useful, but it's not guaranteed. Not everything is going to be useful.
I do like that play of just getting that check out of the way. Oh, hey, Quake medallion from the chest game in Village of Outcasts. We, of course, don't know what the medallions are for either dungeon yet.
Yep. So that Affleck medallion is now available. And, so ozipone will be checking out a few more things here in the Village of Outcasts. These are our, brand new locations. There's a big key. It's the big key of Turtle Rock.
Oh, that one's always really good to get early. It's pretty high likelihood you're going to be doing Turtle Rock in Keysanity, kind of whether you like it or not.
Very true. I actually really like the idea of going to Finish Desert because it's the green pendant.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. You never know what's going to come from that Sahasra item. Could be a small key, could be a small key to pod.
We've also got the map of Thievestown, and we can see now that both Skullwoods and Thievestown are crystals. I believe crystals 1 and 2, according to that map.
We're also going to see ozipone head straight on into Thievestown. Always a good play in
Ice Rod!
Oh, baby.
We've got the Ice Rod at Thievestown in the very first chest.
Proving my point as I was making it. Yeah, like, even in non-Keysanity, obviously, Thievestown's a great play, but in Keysanity, it's just even better. That is a GT big key!
Big key in Ganon's Tower!
If you called Thievestown second chest, you win our eternal, adulation and gratitude. There you go.
There we go. So the big key in Ganon's Tower found there in Thievestown, and also we found the big key to Skull Woods and Desert in the big chest. So there's that.
I do like this play by Ack. Just taking some time in Desert. He's got that big key. Might as well. Maybe we'll see if he'll finish it.
All right, so we got the Compass of Misery Mire and a big 20. Did we find the Thievestown big key?
I don't believe that we have yet.
Yeah, I don't think so. So, ozipone is just piecing out.
I don't exactly know what he's doing. Oh, well, he doesn't
he's
have
just
mirror.
Walking out. He doesn't have mirror. So
Yeah,
there you go.
he doesn't want to go all the way back to the light world.
And death warping with red mail is actual garbage. So Axe making the play on Desert Palace that I was talking about a minute ago. That's going to be a pretty good play, I think.
I like Arzipone's routing as well. Do some digging game. Probably check Stumpy and then head on over to Hype Cave, which I assure you will actually be hype in this mode. Please.
Yeah. No one quite got jebaited in Thievestown. Nobody tried to go to the door without the big key. These runners are good.
I feel like we're gonna see at least one of those at some point. It has to, right?
All right, so we got a Dark Palace key at the digging game. That's 4.
Very interesting that Ozzy continues to dig. I guess he's maybe looking for some rupees for something.
Yeah, that seems legit. Ack is doing bomb strats on Landmo.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to do it in that Plando the other day.
Oh, God. I've never tried bomb strats on Landmo myself, because, arrows were the thing to do by the time. Oh, he took a death. Oh, no.
Ack gets a little bit of what we call hubris going on here. And gets a little bit wrecked for his trouble. And he's just going to peace out.
Yeah, I think that's a fine play. I mean, it'll be just as fast to come back here later. He'll almost certainly get Mire area access, so he can just come back afterwards and mirror the desert, presuming that he gets all those items. But it's likely to happen.
Now, so the big key from Swamp Palace, or excuse me, the big key to Skull Woods is it only unlocks one location, and that's the big chest in Skull Woods. That's it.
Yeah, that's correct.
There's no big key door in Skull Woods. It does not exist.
Same with Swamp, of course. Just like in non-Keysanity, where all you're looking for is that one key, and then you can go mode it.
So there's the big key for Misery Mire and the boots. And 300 rupees and another big key. It's for Thieves Town.
Wow.
Inside Hype Cave, ladies and gentlemen. Hype Cave has made a comeback.
Dude, what were you saying about going to Hype Cave first? It would have worked out so much better for the routing.
Just saying.
Ladies and gentlemen, this man knows what he's talking about. You best listen to his routing thoughts.
You should not listen to a thing I say and pay no attention to anything I ever say. Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain as we head up to Pyramid over on Ozipo's screen.
Oh, wow. Master Sword hanging out in Bumper Cave. So you need the cape to get the Master Sword. That's very interesting.
That is interesting. Is Kyong about to get jebaited? Because I don't think he picked it up.
He got the cape? Where did he get the cape? What?
He might have picked it up while he was... Yeah, he got it.
There
okay.
It is. I must have just looked away at the time that he got the cape. Maybe it was
I think it was in Skullwoods.
Yeah, that must be.
Yeah, it had to have been in Skullwoods.
By Hype Cave, which was in fact quite hype. Oh, we're gonna see the pod check from ozipone with the I don't know how many of the 4 pod keys he has, but this is the first of almost certainly 2 required visits because he's not gonna be able to finish.
That is true.
Well,
he's got 4. He could finish.
Yeah, he could finish. It's not in the logic. We'll see whether he thinks it's a good idea.
And I mean, if I can finish it like this, I would. Just because I don't want to come back.
I think I wouldn't, and the reason is I'm scared about something required being in one of those other side rooms. Though granted, King Helmet would have something too.
I would get every chest with these 4 keys.
I see.
If I could. Like if I knew how to hammer Yump.
Yeah.
And could avoid opening this door and the other door, I would just get everything. Do we have the big key for desert or for pod?
Oh, we don't. So we're gonna be hoping to see it in here, I guess.
Also, there's this thing that people are telling me. It's called catfish.
Oh wow. That's a heck of catfish, dude.
Catfish with the fire rod.
You know, a GT small key and the bonk rocks checked by Ack just now. Racking up all those GT small keys that are thoroughly useless at this point.
Yep. Now that you have the big key for Ganon's Tower, all you need is that one small key and you can proceed up Ganon's Tower. So all we got to do is get those 7th crystals and that's go mode. So
Yep, and you can get that one small key off that skull in the first room on the first floor, so you don't even need to find any in the world. You're just good.
oh yeah, you're right. But it doesn't hurt to have one, because then you don't have to go downstairs.
Yep, for sure.
Ozipone picking up a bottle.
Being a bottle, always a crowd favorite. Wonder if we're going to see a hammer jump from him. I know you mentioned he was practicing it before this race started.
That is very true. The hammer jump would give him access to the dark room without using the small key.
And he's not doing it.
Yeah, he's not doing it yet. I expect he might try it later.
Okay, we'll see.
The Compass of Skull Woods, that is a thoroughly useless item. A big heart.
Much love. And there's that cape from Ack that we missed earlier. It was in that chest in Skull Woods.
So Ozipone has in fact used the small key to get into the dark maze, so he will not be finishing the dungeon just yet unless he finds another small key to Dark Palace in Dark Palace.
Well, he's got one more option as he picks up a Meyer small key, and we're going to see the big chest. Well, we're not going to see the big chest. He could skip picking up the vanilla big key chest in the center, which takes a key, and normally it's highly likely to give you a key. But in this case, he could opt to go to the boss instead.
So the big key, or excuse me, the small key situation is kind of a pain in Palace of Darkness because there are 6 of them and they're just spread all over the place. So it looks like Ack is taking that fire rod to Skull Woods.
I like it. Just get this dungeon done. You know it's crystal. At least I think he knows.
And it does look like Ice Palace and Turtle Rock were our 5 and 6 crystals. Sorry about that. I never mentioned it.
And we are seeing that big key chest from Ozipone, and unfortunately it is thoroughly useless. I think that was 10 arrows. So
and 50 more rupees. So there you go. So there is still one item hanging out in Palace of Darkness. Sitting there on Helmasaur himself. And another one potentially in the big chest.
Yeah, but unfortunately we're going to have to wait a little bit to get to see that one.
Alright, and Acktheboker slaying the boss of my nightmares, Mothula, and picking up the validation arrow.
Perfect. The ether tablet check from Aaron. I don't think anyone had access to Hera earlier when they came up here, but just a piece of heart.
So the Tower of Hera is another place being checked at the moment. Ozipone gonna get some rupees and a big heart. He's now got tons of rupees.
And unfortunately, that's it. That's all you can really check here is that the main room chest and the cage chest. So we're going to see this chest here, arrow upgrade, and that's it. He's done in Hera.
Mm-hmm.
That's
You've
where
got to have the big or small key to get something else.
Yeah, that's where the map knowledge of Keysanity really comes into play. You have to know how much of each dungeon you're actually going to be able to access, and in the case of some places like Hera, it's really not a whole lot.
And it looks like we have found the Titan's Mitts. I believe in that front chest of Skull Woods was the location, or in the back.
Man, look away for 1 second from Act screen. He picks up something important. Then someone else picks up something important. Gee.
Oh yeah, I'm just, I'm relying on the chat here.
So that's gonna seriously increase his available locations in the world and allow him to get around a lot more.
Oh no, we know where the Gans Tower big key is. It's in Thieves Town. It's in the very first chest in Thieves Town.
Actually, at this
No,
point,
it's the second chest. Excuse me.
Yeah, that's correct. And at this point, Acktheboker, he could actually just head directly into Ice Palace. He could full clear it too.
Yeah, Ice Palace is an option. He's going to pick up this second sword as well. That's going to make things easier on him.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what else is an option?
Magic yet? Oh, baby.
As soon as he goes into Turtle Rock, I mean, not Turtle Rock, Thieves Town, Turtle Rock will be an option.
We don't know what medallion it is, do we?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I don't think so.
We don't know
But
yet.
they do have access to 2 medallions. Where was Quake at? That was in a chess game,
Quake
right?
was, chess game. He'll get it shortly.
We still haven't seen that first chest in Aghanim checked. They don't have any keys to the tower, so they can't check the second one. But they could check the first, and I'm interested to see who's going to head there first.
That is very, very much a possibility. So Acktheboker picks up that ice rod. We have found so many small keys for Ganon's Tower. You don't even know.
Yeah, we are loaded for bear when it comes to Ganon's Tower. We're done. We'll be able to finish that dungeon in its entirety very quickly when we get there. But we got, I believe, 6 crystals to go still. As the only person with a crystal so far is Ack from Mothula and Skull Woods.
Yeah. Now, the only possibility that they might, want something in Ganon's Tower is they could end up getting there with the Master Sword. Which, you could do Master Sword Ganon, no problem. But you might want something better. So, given the chance, you might check a few chests on the way up.
Yeah, that's for sure. I know that Ack was in the main tournament, correct?
Yeah.
And I know that Aaron and Ozzy are both doing pretty well in the secondary tournament. Unfortunately, I don't recognize Kyong's name.
Kyong is in the top 16 of the main tournament.
Perfect. Of course, I missed that one name when I was looking at the bracket.
Yeah.
So these are all players I would expect they'll be fine doing Master Sword Ganon if they really need to. But you never know. I mean, you could always just stop for a few moments and check a couple chests and possibly get yourself a tempered.
Ack actually won his first 7 matches in the main tournament, and then got summarily decimated in the groups.
Oh, that is a hard tournament, dude. There's so many ridiculously good players in there. Anytime I ever think that I'm good at Rando at all, I just watch a tournament match and remember how not good I am.
There we go. There's another pod key in Thieves Town.
Almost possible to completely finish pod in the logic. Just missing the big key.
Yeah, and, no reasonable person is going to open that first door in pod if you have the bow. No reasonable person is going to do that.
Yeah, that's correct. It's a giant waste of time and a key. You can just not do that and save a crap load of time.
Looked like there were about 35 people who entered this, I believe. And I think we also found a blue boomerang in the Thieves Town big chest.
Yay.
I mean, some people like the boomerang. That's all I'm saying.
Well, we'll see what Blind has to offer here, aside from a little bit of trolling. I wouldn't really expect Kyong to have any problems with it. Yeah, very clean.
All right, and just a piece of heart there on blind. No, we didn't actually know that already, but now we do.
Yep, the Kyong is the first player to clear Thieves Town, collect that crystal. Acktheboker close behind. ozipone just finishing up Desert and collecting his green pendant. You're going to see that Sahasula track doesn't look like it right now. He's going to go back to Village. Aaron doing the pod check that Ozzy just did a little bit ago, and also not having the benefit of that 5th key that was in Thieves Town. So they're also going to get stopped once he hits that big key chest.
And he did decide not to hammer jump. I think the reason you don't hammer jump there, and I just realized it, is you don't have a mirror.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
So you'd have to go way out of your way. Also, you don't have the big key, so that also doesn't help.
So it looks like Kyong decided to go ahead and finish Skull as well. I like this play. It's right here. Get it out of the way. Anything has a very good chance of having an item for progression purposes, so you might as well.
You have to burn the key or save and quit to get out. And saving and quitting would take way too long.
So far, Ack is the only player to have found that Titan's Mitt, but I have a feeling that Kyong's going to find it right after taking out Mothula. Question for Aaron and Oz is going to be when they decide to do that. Looks like Oz is heading to Skull Woods, so I guess we'll probably see that the clear out, because I remember he... No, I guess he hasn't done this yet. I must be thinking of another runner. But we will probably be seeing that from him.
Seems entirely likely.
Question from chat about whether big and small keys are tracked in the inventory, and they are. You do get the opportunity if you open your pause menu. You can see on Aaron's screen just a second ago there was a set of numbers indicating for each dungeon how many small keys he has, whether he has the big key or not. You can also toggle it to show whether you have the map or compass as well.
Oh yeah, that's right. I think you hit select or something, or
yeah, and of course that's like way less useful, but
yeah, of course. So there we go. We've got the peg cave was checked. You had just a big heart in there. Okay, so the reason we don't know the dungeon types for Harapod and Swamp and Mire is in Keysanity mode, you don't know what they are on the map. The only way you get that information is if you find the map of that dungeon. So it's a little bit of a twist on the traditional logic here.
I don't know how that twist came about, but actually, like, I really like it. It adds just kind of like it doesn't necessarily like really help like Keysanity be a better mode, but it's just a little twist that adds a lot of intrigue to the mode that just, you know, otherwise isn't there, and it just makes it a little more fun that way.
Yeah.
Oh, Kyong's got their Titan's Met, so we're gonna see some dark Death Mountain starting from Turtle Rock, it looks like.
I need to look into the logic for randomizing the music in this game for the dungeons to conceal that information, because if they just take the music and for each dungeon flip it 50-50, it actually reveals information. You want the distribution to be roughly the same, is the thing.
I'm thinking about that. I'm trying to figure out how
it doesn't actually reveal real information, but it reveals probabilistic information, because I'm a huge like security nerd, and I do cryptography, so that's part of it. Don't even ask.
No, man, I was just gonna go and observe that I'm very excited to see Acktheboker entering Ice Palace. This is a fun play.
Ice Palace time.
So that anything actually comes of this particular adventure. It could just have nothing. Might even be a pendant too. But of course, there's only one pendant left, so there's a decent likelihood the remaining dungeons they don't know about are. Oh, actually, we know this is crystal, don't we? I'll shut up now.
I don't know what was in that first chest because my stream froze for a second there. Think it was. People are saying it's like Sankheart.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Quake for Turtle Rock. Now Kyong has access. Is he gonna go in?
He might.
Would you go in?
Well, I would probably check the hookshot cave and stuff first, unless he's already done that.
But after you check those, are you going in?
Maybe. I think they've got 2 Turtle Rock keys. Which is
I have 1 key and 1 big key.
Okay, that might be what I'm thinking of.
Oh, there's a big key. It's Hera. Hey.
Okay, so maybe I go do Hera first.
Yeah, I would. Well, unfortunately,
flute!
Oh, that's a flute. Well,
and mirror.
And
what?
Well, I was just gonna say you didn't have a mirror to be able to check Hera quickly, but all right.
So I remember you saying something about Hookshot Cave having the Gans Tower big key, but it had value, like in spades. I mean, there's no shovel there, but it was value in spades.
Yeah, it's the light world equivalent.
But the shovel is up here.
Oh Lord, the shovel. You've been waiting for this. I don't even is this going to be something helpful? Who even knows?
I did not realize that the shovel was there when I said value in spades.
Yeah, I had forgotten about that completely. We got a Hyrule Castle map. Oh boy.
Just the most useful thing. Do you know what's in Hyrule Castle?
I don't think it's a pendant dungeon or a crystal dungeon.
I think it's a Zelda dungeon.
Accurate. It looks like Swamp was also a crystal, so a little bit more information revealed now.
Aha.
And yeah, that's rightly pointed out from chat. That is item go mode. Unfortunately, because this is Keysanity, that could be very far from actual go mode.
Absolutely. So, Kyong gonna pick up the silver arrows, I believe, off of Spectacle Rock before heading into the Tower of Hera. To be fair, I didn't actually see him pick up the silver arrows due to a little hiccup, but I'm assuming that was a thing.
I believe that Kyong did, yeah. Might not have checked Ether. We do know the Ether tablet is just a piece of heart, but he does not have that information, I believe. Meanwhile, we're seeing some interesting Ice Palace clearing strats from Acktheboker. It's a tough dungeon to route for a full clear in Keysanity, but I am a little bit iffy on the route that he ended up choosing to take.
Well, as a general rule in Keysanity, and this is just my rule, you want to avoid using the keys as much as you can, because that will factor into your decision as far as where you're going.
Gonna see some Moldorm action from Kyong. And we're about to see Cold Stare from Ack.
Mm-hmm. So we're going for Master Sword spin strats on Trolldorm, just as effective as the hammer, but less likely to cause you to fall.
And a little love and a crystal.
Alright, so Ack will be trying to put Cold Stare in a corner and applying the hammer liberally to the face.
That was some really good hammer work there. Oh, baby.
Beautiful Cold Stare fight from Acktheboker.
And the Dark Palace small key. So there's number 6, and we still don't have the big key.
Yeah. So something I've noticed a little bit of a glitch is whenever you get a key or drop that causes a text box off of a boss, it discolors the crystal ever so slightly.
Yeah, and that's actually really worth noting because it might confuse you into thinking that crystal is one of the two quote unquote red crystals, the 5 and 6, but that doesn't actually mean that. It's just irrelevant. It's just a weird glitch that happens.
But in this case, it is one of those crystals.
That's true. It's just a coincidence that it appeared like that. Well, it turned out to be a pretty good play for Acktheboker because I don't believe he collected that 5th pod key yet. But I might be wrong on that. I don't know. It's impossible for me to remember who has how many pod keys at this point.
Oh yeah, pod keys everywhere.
I think it's safe to say all the keys have been pretty accessible places and kind of in the player's path. So I don't think anyone's going to have any problems clearing pod as much as they need to.
I think I just saw 3 Turtle Rock keys on Kyong's menu.
That's interesting.
Maybe it was 2.
I will have to pay close
attention. I know
attention.
it was more than 1. Kyong picking up that swag duck, everybody.
Everyone's favorite. I love that music. I always have to listen in. It's just so good.
Mm-hmm. I kind of have a tradition with that, but today there's just too much action on the screen to make that happen. It's not that I only sing for tourney matches, it's that I only sing for matches where there's only 2 runners.
Where I can tell what's going on. So a lot of ground retreading right now. Oz and Ack. Ack just finished up his initial Hera check. Oz's doing his. Does not have the Hera Big Key yet since does not have Titan's Med. Ack will be getting Hera Big Key pretty soon, and then we'll be like, oh, why didn't I do that before I did Hera? But whatever. Aaron checking out Thieves Town. Gonna finish that up. And Kyong is doing some Overworld, which I think we have seen before, right? We've seen Hammer Pegs.
Yep, looks like it. Yeah, there was a big heart there in Hammer Pegs. Ozipone getting slightly debated by Tower of Hera. And is he heading to the Spike Cave?
I think we just saw a Spike Cave from Kyong, I think, but I missed what was in it.
Yeah. I think I don't know if this is happening on the mainstream, but it's possible that Kyong's information might be a little sparse. Red bottle, you say?
Well, that's pretty nice. But not exactly required. Although I think that could be the second one of those they've gotten, so they're going to be pretty safe later on. They're going to have a lot of, backup plan, basically.
And now Ack is heading in to get all of the value.
Even for Keysanity, this was a very, very nice hookshot cave.
Yeah. I think I'm just going to call this cave Value Village.
That is the Tempered Sword in the ledge below Kakariko Village.
Whoa! So
very nice.
The Haunted Grove ledge there with one more sword upgrade. That's a little bit reassuring. Not having to do Master Sword Ganon. I don't think anybody's going to turn it down if it's handed to you.
Oh, we're going to see this. This shovel check.
Ooh.
Just a little love.
Little garbage in the dig spot. And Ack will be picking that up.
Okay,
himself.
I did get a glimpse of Kyong's menu, and it is still just one Turtle Rock small key.
Well, why did I see 3?
That's the Ganon's tower number, but they're like right near each other.
Oh. That makes sense.
Looks like some time ago we did have a forfeit from the race, unfortunately. That was like 30 minutes ago. But that's the only one so far. There's obviously we're only about an hour and 4 minutes in. There's no finishes yet. Now for Bombo's tablet.
All right, so the lunchbox had the Ice Palace Big Key.
Oh, that's really good for Kyong, but that's really crappy for Ack because he's gonna get that. And he's gonna be like, well, do I have to go back for one chest?
There you go. It's kind of up there. I don't know if Ack got silvers yet or not. He probably will right after finishing Hera.
We got a Meyer medallion check meanwhile, and it was Ether, which is the only medallion they don't have. Another Turtle Rock small key in the shed.
Oh boy.
One more TR small key, and they will be able to clear the finish the dungeon. They will not be able to clear it.
Right. The idea there is, since you're in a go mode situation ish, you take the 3 keys and you go to Trinex. You leave the whatever is in the vanilla big key chest there, and you just clear it. Unless, of course, that turns out to be, I don't know, the Swamp Palace small key.
I was just going to say, we have not seen that yet. That's one of the few things that we still have no access into.
Oh, yeah. So all of these small keys you see picked up, they only go to specific dungeons. Normally they are all within their dungeons, and so that's not a problem. But in this particular setup, they're all over the place. This is Keysanity. Welcome to the nightmare.
That's right. You got to use all of your knowledge of the dungeons and the world, and figure out all the chests you can access given what keys you already have and what parts of each dungeon are going to be available to you. And that's how you got to play it. So all these runners doing a really great job so far as figuring out, where they can go and what they can do. One thing I still want to see is that first chest in Aghanim Tower. I don't know, man.
Yeah, that is sort of a loose square that is just kind of hanging on there. Nobody knows about it. Yeah, rupee sanity, where each dungeon's rupees get shuffled.
I would love to see like random amounts of rupees from each pickup. That would be pretty entertaining.
So like just a rupee with like the number 37 on it for no reason.
Yeah, absolutely.
The problem with that is you like have to program like on the fly sprites. That sounds like the worst.
I believe in the rando devs. I'm very curious where Ack is going right now. I'm gonna laugh if he gets debated by Swamp. Kind of mean-spiritedly, but this has happened to me before too, so. Okay, no, he's a lot smarter than I am, thankfully.
No Swamp debated today. I mean, you could, in theory, find something you need in that chest. Right?
I have had that one time. It was terrible. It was so bad. I just quit that scene when I realized that chest had something.
Ack is getting his tempered sword right now.
Okay, I wonder if he's like pathing around to the south side of village to go activate his flute, because I don't think he has yet.
Yeah, that's actually a decent set of routing here. He'll go to Stumpsman. He'll go, well, he's already done Stumpsman, but he's gonna check that digging location. Shovel dash for no reason.
Ah, I love it.
If only shovel dashing like actually dug stuff up.
All right, well, we're momentarily going to see the one thing in Ice Palace we didn't get to see from, oh, just kidding. We're going to see the bomb jump first.
Yep. Bomb jump once again to sort of minimize the number of keys needed to be used. Heading over to Iced Tea.
Everyone's favorite, 50 rupees. Yay.
I forget, was it Ice Tea or Ice Cube who was on CSI?
Not sure if it's your question. There was Law and Order, which was Ice.
There you go. See, I don't know things.
Chat's on top of it, though. They got you.
Good job.
It's just bombs from the big chest in Ice Palace, so that's a big sigh of relief for us from a theoretical perspective, but when he gets that IP big key, has no idea.
Oh yeah, he's still gonna do that.
I think if you get that big key at that stage, you're probably going to put it off. Like, this is the absolute last thing I'm going to do is go all the way back into Ice Palace just to check the big chest.
See, you think it's a trick question. I'm just dumb and didn't realize it was Law and Order.
Well, Law and Order is the good one. Ouch. Ooh, getting bodied a couple times by Cold Stare. Getting bodied a lot of times.
Yeah, you really want to avoid those scoops of Cold Stare cream.
Okay, no problem though. He managed to finish it off. Just a little bit of a scary moment there.
Oh, this game can definitely be randomized, and it has been randomized quite a bit over the last year or so. It's kind of exploded in popularity. I've seen all kinds of people just coming out of the woodwork to play Zelda Randomizer.
Yeah, including myself. I picked this up when I was helping run the Ori and the Blind Forest tournament earlier this year, and the rando matches would come on after the Ori matches. I'd be like, huh, what's this? I should check this out. I love Link to the Past. It's awesome. And this randomizer is just incredible. It's so much fun to watch.
See Ack with the frustration slashes at the Ice Palace big key.
See, it's exactly things like that. It's so much fun to watch, like the things that happen in randomizer, and then the ways people react, and the ways people figure out what to do when the game is just random, literally random.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of skill and a lot of luck involved. The thing that I think makes it so accessible for people is, a lot of times you see speedrunners and they have all of these tricks down, and everything is just right down to sort of the pixel and the frame, and everything is just so well organized, and people are like, oh, I could not possibly compete with that. But you see something like Randomizer and you're like, hey, I could get lucky.
And I mean, even if you don't get lucky, like you can learn how to think about this. Like it's not that bad, right? It's just like learning how to play a game normally, except it's a different set of stuff.
And the other great thing about Randomizer is it just kind of brings back that sense of exploration that you initially had when you played this game the first time.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Like you get that, especially in Keysanity. This is why I love Keysanity so much, because even more than in standard or open seeds, in Keysanity you can experience that every single chest, because every chest has the possibility of being something that's totally vital, even if it's just a key for some dungeon later on. There's just so much possibilities. That's really why I love it. I also love that we're seeing both Kyong and Ack going for pod right now, and they're going to be really disappointed when they figure out there's no big key in here.
Yep.
Because they both do have all 6 keys. Is Aaron going into Turtle Rock right now?
He sure is.
Yeah.
I actually think the pod big key is probably in here. In Turtle Rock.
Yeah, I think there's a decent chance of that, unless it's in that first chest of Aghanim or the first chest of Swamp, but hopefully not.
We never figured out where the third pendant was, right? It's either Pod or Meyer.
Yeah, that's correct, but we don't know which one.
So it could be that Pod is just a pendant.
That's also possible. The big key could just be a wild goose chase. I don't recall there being any progression items in Pod either. There may have been a small key or something.
Yeah, just not much. If I
I
recall.
don't see any on my notes even.
All right, so AaronDobbe, you're gonna pick up some stuff here in Turtle Rock. Just a couple of trash items.
Yeah, right now the remainder of the runners are focused on they're kind of retreading ground that other runners have done. Right now, you want to be focused on that bottom left screen where AaronDobbe is making his way into Turtle Rock. Now he cannot finish the dungeon. He does not have enough small keys to make it.
Yeah. Right now, all he can do is get to the chain chomp room.
Yeah, that's correct. I guess he only had one of the 2 available Turtle Rock keys.
Yep. So we can see what's in here, and if it's not a small key, he is stuck. And it is a big 20, so that's going to do it for the short trip into Turtle Rock.
And that's really rough, too, because there are 2 small keys available. The other one's in Myra's shed. I'm pretty sure he has the one that was from Desert Ledge. And the big key was in the brewery in the Village of Outcasts. So I'm sure he has that. But yeah, unfortunately not able to make it any deeper. If he had that key, he could have made it as far as the big chest.
Well, he could have made it as far as Laser Bridge, possibly. Well, no, you need one more. You're right.
Yeah.
I'm dumb.
Well, that's the main challenge of Keysanity is remembering what all you can do with the number of keys that you have at any given time.
I don't know if we've seen Sarsaparilla. Has anybody turned in that green pendant?
Ooh, I'm not sure that we've
Oh,
seen
full
it.
heart, apparently.
Okay, I'm just kidding. I'm pretty sure we've
So
seen it.
our trackers are on the ball here today.
Yeah, again, shout outs to Meekin and Math Girl 718, both doing a fantastic job keeping all the items up to date on screen and stuff.
So, where is Kyong going? He is heading to Turtle Rock.
Yeah, we're slowly starting to see runners, kind of break out and do some new things, but we're running out of new things to do. What are we going to see next? Who's going to figure out the the thing to break open this race? It's either going to be that third Turtle Rock small key so that they can finish that dungeon, potentially with a stolen key, or it could be Ether Medallion so they can get into Mire.
Yep, there's all sorts of things that could be here requiring that extra dip into Turtle Rock. Yeah, you expect a lot of different trips into the same dungeon.
Yeah, and I definitely think the thing that'll separate top players here from from lower ranked players in a Keysanity race is going to be how well they do minimizing those trips. Kyong, for example, he's got both of the Turtle Rock keys that are available currently. He's going to be able to go much farther than Aaron was, and possibly that's going to get him the thing that's in here that he needs. Unless there's nothing, who knows?
Yep. So we can go in to the next part. We can get potentially the big chest, and the roller room, I believe.
Yes, that would be the last one they can get to, as well as Mimic Cave.
Yeah, you can either get the roller room, or you can get the vanilla big key chest. Right?
I'm trying to remember where the key. I think the key comes in after the roll room, not before. So I think you can do both. There was a question in chat. Is
so you could get to Laser Bridge.
No.
If you skip the big key chest.
Oh yes, yeah, correct. But that wouldn't be accounted in the logic.
Right.
And to answer that question that did come up in chat, is stealing keys from later in the dungeon accounted for in the logic? The answer is no. For Turtle Rock, for example, to beat the dungeon, it assumes that you have all 4 small keys. Whether you do or not is something else, but the logic will place them so that you can acquire them all before it needs you to finish the dungeon.
Yeah, to be fair, what actually happens is they just set it up so that it is impossible to lock yourself out of acquiring all the keys that you need.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the real piece of logic here. So you can do the stolen key. It's set up so that you can do it without screwing yourself over, but it's not always advisable.
Yep, and speaking of which, we did see Kyong steal the small key from the Pokey. He's not going to check the vanilla big key chest. He's going to opt to check the laser bridge instead. This is still, I think, a pretty good play. It gets you 4 additional chests, which could be something. It's technically a sequence break, so it can't be something you need right now, but it could be something you need later in the sequence, which could still help right now.
Yeah. There's always that weird chance that the big key chest there is like itself another Turtle Rock small key, and so you didn't need to go there, but it's unlikely.
Oh. Mimic Cave was the Turtle Rock small key.
There we go.
That's fantastic. So that's the 3rd key that they need to be able to, in logic, access everything except the boss.
And there's another B-Torp sitting there in the big chest. B-Torp. We'll pick some bees.
Buzz. Well, now I feel very confident that there's something vital in Turtle Rock. The question is, which of those 5 chests has it?
All right, so we head into the dark room in Turtle Rock. Actually, one of the easier dark rooms to navigate. Assuming you know where all the lines are, you can just kind of hold the correct direction.
Yeah, and the presence of the fire bars really helps give you visual cues there. All right, we're going to see some laser bridge action right now, and then I assume Kyong will also finish off the dungeon since it's a crystal, so that's a really good play as well.
All right, so we've got 300 rupees. We've got a burrito for Dark Palace. That's actually probably decent information. We can find out whether it's a pendant or not. We've got the Ether Medallion on the laser bridge.
There you go.
Piece of heart.
I feel very confident Myra's going to be the thing, but I'm going to laugh when it turns out that we're all just debated by that medallion and it's actually totally irrelevant.
Yep. So we've got Kyong actually going to go kill Trinex. So we are leaving that big chest, or vanilla big key chest, behind. I think that's generally an okay call. It's that one item, and if it turns out to be important, it's going to be awful. But it feels like something you can leave behind a good portion of the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's, just like in non-Keysanity seeds, one item's one item. It doesn't have, by itself, that high of a chance to be something, but, and especially at this point, because they have so much already. But man, imagine if it were pot big key.
Or swamp small key.
Oh my god, we still haven't seen that. Beautiful Trinex for Kyong as well.
Just big love. And that's going to do it for Trinex. Sawsroll has been checked. It was apparently a big heart.
Yeah, all the one-off stuff that they've checked so far has been pretty unnecessary, with the exception of, I think, Hobo had the TT small key, which I think turned out to be something useful.
Yeah, I think Magic Bat had a relevant key.
Ah, that's true, yeah. Actually, it might have been a GT small key. I forget. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Oh, Kyong, check that map real fast. I did not see what pod was.
Where's the crystal? It was crystal number 4. So that is the last crystal.
Okay.
Pendant, but it's his only option right now.
So, real important question. Are we going to see a bird toss? Nope.
All business.
Yep. Yeah, Keysanity. There are some dungeons, that kind of have certain nicknames, like Pod, for example. Speaking of business. But the problem is, in Keysanity, all the business is everywhere. Like, it's all out in the world. So Pod is just giving you the business everywhere.
Thank you. So one of the things I really like about Meyer in Hello.
Sorry about that. The Dark Palace Big Key sitting there in Misery Mire. I mean,
is there any reason to continue this?
Yeah, Swamp Small Key.
Oh.
Hey, it's the map of Misery Mire in Mire.
Spoilers, it's a pendant.
That's interesting that the map, when he picked it up, told him which dungeon it was.
Yeah, it did.
Even though when a big key or a small key happens, you don't get that message.
Yeah, you usually don't. We see the calls already in the chat that Kyong wins, and well, that's not necessarily guaranteed.
Oh,
but,
there it is!
Oh
the Swamp Palace small key!
Wow, dude. That was the clutchest Meyer of all time. That was just, oh my goodness.
So yeah, Meyer may have been a pendant, but it did hold the value. And that actually puts Kyong in literal actual go mode, I believe.
Not to be confused with figurative actual go mode. Wow, what a seed. Just what a progression, and fantastic job by Kyong here. Again, look, it's only an hour and a half in, and Kyong's down to the last 2 dungeons with all the items needed, even in Keysanity. So it's really not as crazy as you might think. Like a top tier runner is still going to be able to do an amazing job, and it's not as terrible as it sounds or as you might think.
Yeah. So as far as completing Ganon's Tower goes, all you really need when you get in there is the big key, on account of there will be a small key available for you in a pot. But if you have the small key, another small key already, you can skip that as well. And all of our runners definitely have both the big key and at least one small key for Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, they're going to be good to go as soon as we get there. As far as pod goes, they all, I believe, have all of the pod small keys because they were just in their path. And they're going to get the pod big key from Meyer. They're going to get the swamp small key from Meyer. And of course, if you remember from your standard or open races, if you're in go mode, you can just waltz on into swamp. All you need is your hook shot and that one small key in Keysanity, and then you're good to go.
There you go. So Kyong is just going to clear the snot out of Swamp Palace. It looked like he opened the first chest out of like habit.
Well, it could have been, you know, hey, maybe there's a golden sword here.
Yeah, you could be looking for butter. Why not? And it's pretty. It's actually pretty fast to just charge through the guys and make it appear.
A little bit of stream hiccup from Kyung's POV, but hopefully we'll get that back soon. We've got Aaron and Oz doing their Ice Palace checks. This, I think, is the first time for both of them, and they'll finish it off. I think they both also have the big key.
All right. So, Acktheboker is heading the right direction. He's heading over to Misery Mire. He's going to get some things.
Yeah, Ack did get his Ether Medallion to get into Mire, but he did not opt to steal the key from the Pokey. He instead looks like he checked the big key chest, which means he's going to need to find one other Turtle Rock key.
I thought I saw him kill Trinex.
Am I high? Maybe I'm just...
Maybe I'm making that up.
I don't know what to believe. I'm sure we'll find out shortly.
My brain is weird. Anyway.
Okay, there we go. It lit up. He did kill Trinex. Good. Great.
Alrighty. So, Acktheboker heading into Misery Mire. Now, the worst thing for him would be if he goes to pick up that Dark Palace big key and then pieces out. Or if he picks up the Swamp Palace small key and pieces out.
I guess a mini worse thing is that he's just wasting his time on the left side. I mean, I actually think this is a pretty good route normally. If you already have a key for Mire, this is pretty efficient overall, but it does, unfortunately, consume some time that, in this case, we know he doesn't need to.
That seems entirely legit. So, Acktheboker gonna be lighting some torches.
Aaron and ozipone collecting their chests of disappointment. Oh, I think Ozzy wants to try this bomb jump, but might not have done it before.
Kyung has returned, and it looks like we got in just after he finished Swamp Palace. And he is headed over to Palace of Darkness to finish that off.
I'm just going to go ahead and say that Kyung had a very fantastic Argus fight that I wish y'all had gotten to see, because, it was truly a work of art.
Yeah, pretty much the best. Acktheboker picks up the Swamp Palace small key and continues on. Good on him. Ack is avoiding the first chest that you usually check in Swamp like the plague. I mean, Swamp Mire. Derp.
Yeah, my normal route for Keysanity Mire ends up to getting that chest absolute last, and it's just an unfortunate coincidence in this case that it happens to have the one thing he cares about now.
Hey!
Oh, except the gold sword!
Butter has appeared. We have butter. I can't believe it's butter.
Well, that is a nice reward for spending the extra time checking all that stuff. It's certainly not going to make up the difference between him and Kyung right now, but it's still very nice to have.
That is 100% true. Butter is pretty great, but you can actually deal the same amount of damage with the Tempered Sword. You just need to spin. And the difference in the only thing it makes any sort of difference on is Ganon, and you can one cycle him on both of the first two phases with either sword if you know what you're doing.
Yep. Just it's a really nice to have thing that just kind of takes away that any amount of like challenge from that and just makes it like, oh yeah, I can just swing my sword brain deadly and everything just works. You see King Helma from Kyong right now.
Yep. Kyong using the nice sword strats. You hold out the sword. It will extend the range of your hammer shots a little bit. I'm told it's technically slower.
That's what I've heard as well, but yeah, it's just so much easier.
If only because it causes a little bit of lag with the sparklies from the sword. That being said, it's like you said, so much easier just to make that happen.
A couple bombs as the reward for dispatching the Helmasaur King. And hey, we're going to Ganon's Tower, and you don't need to bother guessing where the big key is, because they already have it. Thanks for playing.
Yep. If you guessed second chest in Thieves Town, you win today. But that's it. That was a long time ago.
I think, personally, this is actually one of my favorite aspects of Keysanity as well. Like, most of the fun for me of the rando is the discovery of, like, you know, finding something new around every corner. So the go mode part isn't super exciting to me personally, which is why I like the fact that go mode usually involves, like, you just skip all of Ganon's Tower and go straight to the top. That's really nice.
Seems rather good. Did we have an AGA 1 check?
I don't believe anyone ever got up there.
I saw people talking about it in chat.
Clearly, it wasn't important. I am curious as to what was over there. Probably just some small keys to something no one cares about.
Aaron checked the first chest and it was a heart piece, apparently.
Oh, he did end up there. Okay, I missed that.
Alright, so Kyong opening up Ganon's Tower. He should be well on his way to finishing off this seed. A straight go mode Ganon's Tower. Probably, I don't know, what, 8 minutes?
Yeah, I want to say 7 or 8 minutes. It'll be quick. I'm looking forward to seeing what strats Kyong will use. I see the bow out right now, but I want to see that gauntlet.
Yep. So the bow strats here on the mimics, they are the one reason the bow is required in every seed. And Acktheboker will be finishing off Argus. He's trying to put a silver arrow in him and eventually succeeds.
That was a good fight. The quick dispatching of the eyes, but the silver is pretty hard to get into his body.
Yeah, he has a pretty finicky hitbox, and especially for arrows, and it's not exactly easy to hit it. Kyong with some pretty nice gauntlet rooms here. A little bit of a run around here in the third room, but no real issue there. Nice slash and a second slash, easily taking out the fourth room. In this final room, nobody likes the last room in the gauntlet.
It's skeleton troll. Oh, he dodged the beam set though, accidentally with that bonk.
Pretty great. On to Landmola's 2. Silver arrow per worm will take him down, and 3 shots, 3 kills. That is how you do it. Acktheboker, meanwhile, heading over to Palace of Darkness to go finish that off, while Kyong is heading through some of my favorite rooms in the game. There is very little in this world that is more satisfying than wrecking Wizrobes with a Cane of Samaria.
I agree. That strat is just so fun to watch every time.
Yeah. Especially if you played any of Zelda 1 and the Wizrobes are like the worst. You get your revenge here in Link to the Past. AaronDobbe, you finding that small key to Turtle Rock and Mimic Cave, much to his surprise / chagrin.
The irony when having the key be in the dungeon it's actually for is a troll that upsets you.
Absolutely. And Kyong will be blowing a hole here in the south wall and heading down toward Trolldorm 2.
I feel like Kyung's all business today. I'm not sure we're going to see validation from him.
Yeah. You know, it's a chest. You don't need it. You don't need it. There's no reason to check it. That is, in fact, the case. But he does so anyway. It's a small key to Ice Palace.
It could have been even trollier, but that's pretty decent. Just reminding you what mode you're here playing.
Absolutely. I think Ack probably will not pick it up because he has butter and there's actually no reason for him to pick it up unless he wants to meme. That looked like just one.
Yeah, unfortunately, not very good anglers for him, but that was a little.
I think that counted as 2. Oh, getting wrecked by some unfortunate blue projectiles. And that's going to be 4 for Kyung's Aga2 shot.
These positions are just super awkward.
Oh, but that one was pretty good. So another double hit there. So looked like 1 2 0 1 2. And Kyung is heading off to face off against Ganon here in the Pyramid of Power. No one has done yet.
That's correct. I expect this to be a pretty good fight for Kyung, for everything he showed us today.
Yeah, I believe Kyung did just destroy this seed. I mean, provided nothing happens here.
Yeah, it's really impressive how quickly he interpreted everything that was going on and where the logic wanted him to go. This is kind of what I personally wanted to see. Oh, a little bit of damage.
He's getting a little bodied by some fireballs here.
He does have 2 red potions, so I think he'll be fine.
And there we go. That's 3 hits for the 3rd phase of Ganon. And 4. So, we move on to the final phase. Did we find the arrows in Death Mountain? You bet we did. And Ganon takes a hit. Nice ranged torch glitch from Kyung. A couple hits and the 4th silver arrow.
Beauty.
Kyung takes it down. And for those of you who are waiting for this wonderful piece of information, ladies and gentlemen, Kyung has finished in first place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 43 minutes, and 42 seconds.
Congrats to Kyung. What a great race. Fantastic execution in this seed, and I mean, there's really not much else to say. Just start to finish, it was pretty much perfect.
I'd actually like to say congrats to Willard J. Bradley for picking the winner of this race in advance to show off.
He knew. Well, we'll see who starts to dot in the race soon. Maybe Act will be the next one. He is making his way up Ganon's tower right now. You got Aaron, he collected his ether from Turtle Rock. Ozipone's doing the same pretty shortly. And I believe Aaron also did kill Trinex while we were looking away.
Oh yeah,
So he'll be getting his stuff in Mire.
yeah, I did see the Trinex fight. I just didn't mention it because it was Ganon time.
There's a question about how many instant dot forfeits were there, and the answer is none. Other runners are still going. They're gonna valiantly make their way to the end of this seed. Honestly, I've certainly seen worse Keysanity seeds, but certainly Kyong went above and beyond the rest in the way he routed this seed and figured out where he needed to go.
Yep. I don't wanna lie. I feel like this Keysanity seed was less trolly than the standard seed we had just a couple hours ago.
You know, I have to say you're right.
Yeah, with this one it was just, clear what you can, as much as you can, and then do it again.
The biggest shock to me on this one was the pod double dip for once was actually not required. You could have done it in one shot.
Yep.
Very good Ganon Tower so far for Ack.
In fact, if you had done it right, you could have go-moded Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, that's true.
You would not have had to check any of the chests in there. Now, it would have been unlikely. Yeah,
I mean, Pod has 14 chests, and in Keysanity particularly, they could be literally anything. None of them is necessarily a dungeon item, so it's not a gamble that most players are going to make, but just in this case, it would have actually worked.
14 chests is just an insane number of chests.
Ooh, misfire with the fire rod, but he still has enough ammo, so no problem.
Reasonably certain. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Reasonably certain that 14 is far and away more than anything else in here except Ganon's Tower itself.
Yeah, I think that's correct. Turtle Rock and Swamp are close-ish.
Yeah. Swamp is going to have, I think, 10?
Yeah, that's correct.
And Turtle Rock is going to have 12. And then I looked down at the chat and there's the answer. I was just calculating in my head number of items plus number of keys plus big key. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the most efficient possible way of calculating this.
So, I don't know if you noticed, I just now did, Ganon's Tower has pendant music.
Yeah, that's one of the joys of playing Keysanity. Sometimes you get that. It always weirds me way out, like when I'm playing and I hear that.
Oh, Ack also getting wrecked by those unfortunate blue projectiles, but gets the double on the next cycle. And there we go.
Yeah, very similar performance on Aga 2 to what Kyong pulled off. Aaron has collected his keys from Misery Mire, so he's working on Swamp right now, and then he'll do Pod. And ozipone is just finishing up Turtle Rock as well, as Ack heads to Ganon.
Looks like we have had one more forfeit from the race. Solsky has pulled out.
Yeah, then I think that was more due to just being pretty late at night, not being able to finish, rather than like frustration with the seed or anything like that.
Right. So Acktheboker, coming up on the Ganon fight, he's doing it with Butter Sword today. So this will be very fast.
Really good execution of this. This is one of my favorite strats to watch, with the dashes from inside the ring of
And
Climax.
if you don't mind, it looks like our winner is ready to talk about his race.
Awesome. Let's bring Kyong in.
I think someone else is going to have to do that.
All right. Well, while we're waiting on that, Gen is gone pretty well for Ack. Got the torch glitch.
Yeah, we'll let Ack finish. That seems like a plan.
Mac is still in line for second.
Yep, no snipes yet. And there we go. Acktheboker finishing off in second place with an official time of 1 hour, 50 minutes, and 20 seconds.
Very good time from him as well. A very good job on that seed. Just like that 7-minute deficit between the first and second place seems kind of surprising, but at the same time, you know, the Keysanity is complicated and challenging, and so it's really cool to see, you know, that Ack was still able to pull off a sub 2 by a pretty convincing margin.
And we are joined by the winner of today's race, Kyong92. Hello, Kyong. How you doing? Or
Kyung?
all right, looks like we're having a little bit of microphone issues. We'll see what happens here in a second.
Yeah, we'll get it squared away.
But yeah, pretty interesting that our illustrious restreamer picked both the first and second place runners to showcase here today.
Oh, it's like we're joined by one other guest right now. Got the second place finisher, Acktheboker, joining us in the call right now. Ack, thanks for joining us. Congrats on your finish here.
Thanks.
Very nicely done. That was probably the most straightforward Keysanity I've seen in a while.
It was kind of straightforward. There was still a lot of unusual little things there that you could or couldn't have done. Like, I mean, you could have completely skipped pod, and I'm not sure where the other Turtle Rock key was, but having that third one in Mimic Cave was kind of annoying. I would have went up there a lot earlier, and then if you had Ether, you were pretty much done with the seed.
I think this is working now. Yeah, it is.
There you are. Hey, Kyung, how you doing?
Doing fine.
Well played, sir. Well played.
Thanks. I wasn't feeling that well actually because of how late I got my hammer in desert at the beginning. But I guess on the later parts of the run it went well.
Yeah, well, I think it turned out that basically everybody took a long time to get around to the hammer there. Really, the key thing was, you know, the play to go into Turtle Rock. And I'm curious, did you give any thought at all in Turtle Rock to getting the big key chest instead of just going on to the boss?
Not really. I mean, just by chest count, it doesn't feel worth it, right? Even if that Mimic Cave key wasn't there, it was 4 chests in Laser Bridge against 1.
Yeah, it does seem like sort of the play there, to be fair.
It almost makes me wonder if there was actually a small key in that chest, but yeah, checking that chest can be really brutal in Keysanity because in my situation, if I would have checked that and there was no small key there, I have to leave the dungeon and go find a small key before I can finish it.
Yeah, I think if I'm doing this, the only way I check that chest is if I'm still missing like a lot of things in Turtle Rock. And why would you go to Turtle Rock if you're still missing a lot of things?
Yeah. I wish I would have just had one more key on my original trip up there and I would have went in.
Same, to be honest. When I went there, I think I had Lamo left, Graveyard Ledge, and that's close to it, I think. I didn't have much when I went to Turtle Rock.
You didn't try to fight Lamo when you were first there? Oh, you probably didn't have the big key, did you?
No.
Uh-huh.
I had the opportunity later to kill Lemon, but for some reason I decided to not do it, which I kind of regretted later on, since it was obviously the most quote-unquote correct play, but...
Unless you want to talk about it, I'm not really going to ask you about your Landmo fight, Ack.
Oh, that was really... I don't know. I was having fun throwing bombs, doing hammer, and then all of a sudden I was dead. And I was like, well... as I was like going towards that fight, I thought it was not a good idea because you'd gotten the hammer and the moon pearl. And what was interesting about that, and I never actually found the second desert key. If I never found that key, then it was completely not required at all. So I mean, I wasn't even interested in going back until I could find my key. So I was like, you know what? I bet this probably isn't even required.
Yeah, that does seem right. So in the meantime, we've had 2 more people finish the race. We've had Big Dunka finishing in 3rd place with a 154.49, and Faraime finishing with a 155.54. So congratulations to both of those runners.
Oh, I got sniped by 5 seconds. The greatest.
No, it was 1 minute and 5.
Oh, 1 minute and 5?
Yeah.
It's all the same to me.
We did also have Tara unfortunately forfeit from the race, commenting that he would rather cuddle his cat right now. Which,
it is very late for Tara.
So I'm thinking back through that race, and I'm trying to think of like, oh, you know, why did you decide to do this rather than this for either of you? But you ended up doing almost everything, which of course is kind of that's the meme about, you know, Keysanity is you 100% the game. Is there anything in Keysanity, I guess, that you just never want to go do? Like you never want to go check this particular place?
It's more so the double dips that kill you in Keysanity, and it's just not knowing, like, if you go into a dungeon, if you can finish it or not. And it's when they start kind of putting, you know, same as like if you have the Eastern or the bow in Eastern Palace, you know, like this seed had the big key in Eastern Palace, like that is something that really messes with your brain in Keysanity, and that can really add a lot of time to it because that's somewhere you typically don't want to go. I think one of the worst things in Keysanity is having a vanilla small key in Swamp, because that's really obnoxious to find.
Yeah, that's really obnoxious. So looks like 5th place to Sabotender, relative newcomer to the randomizer group, coming in 5th place, and followed pretty shortly by Kyle LPN in 6th place. So for anybody watching, paying attention to this race, good for them.
Yeah, and we're seeing our 2 other featured runners just wrapping things up, really. Aaron is working his way up Ganon's Tower, and ozipone is working on Swamp. He's just gotten his keys from Misery Mire, and he did Pod before Swamp.
Yeah, Pod was really impressive with just the insane amounts of hot garbage in that dungeon.
Okay, I have 6 keys, I can open 12 the chests here. Yeah, it was a sad day.
Just so much garbage. I saw one of our runners before the race actually practicing the hammer yump in there, because I know that if you enter that dungeon very carefully and, you know, get your keys in a row, you can actually complete every chest with only 4 of the keys.
Yeah.
So I know that's a trick you kind of want to learn when you're going to do Keysanity.
Yeah, the hammer yump is nice because you save that key to go into the room where the big chest is, and then if you have the bow, you can kind of skip that first key door entirely. But I think to full clear it, using only 4 keys, you have to do the mimic room, I think, 3 times? I don't know if there's any way
Something
around
like
it.
that.
It's about right.
Yeah, too many.
Right. I will be right back.
Awesome, and I'll catch us up here that Ink Nun has finished in 7th place. An official SRL time of 1 hour, 59 minutes, 26 seconds, which is a personal best, apparently, by 13 minutes and 5 seconds. So
Nice.
congrats to them.
I would just like to say I'm horrendously upset at Kyong, man. He couldn't let me win one on camera. He just can't do it, you know? That's a pretty sick time, though, man. That's a really good Keysanity time. That was an awesome run.
Yeah, I had my actual PB was slightly lower, but it was really close to it.
I'm just gonna echo that and mention that like my Keysanity times are like 210 plus at best, so it feels bad to see someone just like, oh yeah, 140, no problem. Oh man, we had 2 more finishers. Pika Pal's coming in 8th place, the 2 hours and 42 seconds, which is PB by minute 6. And followed immediately by Haiku Type in 9th place with 2 hours and 59 seconds. So the 17-second snipe there, alas.
I do think this seed was faster than the average Keysanity seed by a good margin, I think. I've
Yeah.
seen the fabled Ganon's Tower big key in the pedestal before.
Yeah, Ganon's Tower Big Key showed up really early, so that was pretty nice. You know, really there weren't too many. There wasn't anything trolly in this seed that I can think of, really.
I thought the Fire Rod was kind of troll.
Yeah. Was kind of sad. I did a dip into both Skullwoods and Thieves Town, then did the loop and got both the Fire Rod and the big key to Thieves Town. Okay, I'll come back.
Yeah, the good old hype cave actually being hyped for once.
I think after Pod was a bust for me, I went and did like a bunch of weird things. Bombos, and I checked the first chest in Aga, the first chest in Swamp. They're in Spike Cave. It got kind of weird for me there for a minute until I was like, well, I guess I should just go back to Turtle Rock.
Catching up on the action real quick, AaronDobbe is heading in to fight Ganon right now. Did not find the gold sword in Misery Mire, so he's going to be rocking tempered against Ganon, but shouldn't be too big of a deal with silvers. And I think still having both of those red potions in his inventory. And ozipone is now heading up to Ganon's Tower as well.
That's a good point. If you did traditional routing in Mire, you wouldn't find the gold sword. I like to go left first in Keysanity, because you usually already have a small key with you.
That actually, that reminds me of a minor thing that Bobtastic and I discussed right before the race, which is the maze game in Kakariko. What are your guys' thoughts about just going to the maze game without actually checking what it is?
I like doing it. Kind of depends on what my route is too, but I don't know. If I have bombs, I do it. If I feel like I can waste them, and if I don't have bombs, then I don't do it. But I don't know.
I did it in this run because I think it's much more likely in Keysanity for it to be a required item. So it's much more likely that it's way faster to just go get it.
Seems entirely legitimate.
Welcome back, Bob.
Yeah. So, AaronDobbe will be finishing off this Ganon fight shortly. I like Haiku Type's comment on the race.
I did too.
Broken Seed entrance is not shoveled. You guys hyped for that entrance Keysanity on Sunday?
Oh my god.
Trying to find someone to work for me so I can race it. That sounds like a dream come true to me. I've been waiting for this since the day I was born. Those are the most fun races with just every single variation attached to it.
AaronDobbe finishing the race in 10th place with an official time of 2 hours, 4 minutes, and 27 seconds. Congratulations to AaronDobbe finishing top 10 in this race of 30 plus people. I think it was like 35.
Yeah, I think after the forfeits, it's 33 people are going to finish. I hope. I don't want to see any more forfeits. Come on, you guys. You got this.
Congrats to Willard, too, for picking 3 of the top 10 people.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, Willard's going to walk away with all the credit for for your performance.
He did everything. I mean, I pressed buttons, but I will say I couldn't have done it without him. There was no way.
We also had Jay Coper just come in with the 11th place finish, 2 hours, 5 minutes, and 37 seconds on the SRL timing there.
Yep. So Jay Coper done. We've got quite a few more racers still left in with our 4th featured racer here, ozipone, making his way through the Wizrobe rooms. Love the Wizrobe rooms. And there we have Korek finishing in 12th place with a time of 2:06:29, and Kova46 with a 2:06:32. The snipes are real.
Oh, Korek got him.
Oh no, honestly no.
ozipone having a little bit of trouble in the torch room in Ganon's tower, but his magic is plenty available, so that should not be a problem. He can also refill it with this pot here in the next room.
We had the 14th place finish from Sidariel, the 2:06:52. Pretty close in behind Korek and Kova as well.
Yep, so Keysanity is a real thing, and it looks like we are joined by today's 10th place finisher, Mr. AaronDobbe. I'm not sure how you pronounce that.
Yes, it's Dobie.
Dobie.
It's pronounced Lewd Dolphin's #1 fan.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, totally.
There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by AaronDobbe then, and how do you feel about this one?
Oh man, I just have like this big grin on my face whenever I play this mode. I love it so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so much fun. Like, can't even get competitive or mad about it because I'm just being pulled left and right across the map the whole time and just trying to do my best. It's an experience.
Keysanity is one of those interesting modes. I saw a comment from Pika Pals earlier saying everyone wants to play Keysanity, they just don't know it yet.
And then I immediately followed that comment with strong agree. So yeah, man, it's such an intimidating sounding mode on paper, but when you actually play it, like, you just
It's
gotta
actually
do your best.
pretty
and
great.
It's a lot of fun.
All right, ozipone takes down Aghanim 2, heading over the Ganon fight. Now, Acktheboker was the only one of our runners to find the Butter Sword today, and that was because of a very interesting route through Misery Mire. Kind of the opposite of what you would normally do in a normal run.
Oh, interesting. So I suppose he might have taken his key into the left side first.
Yep.
Yeah. That's something I think about doing a little bit too late every time I play Keysanity.
Yeah, no, it took me a little while to adapt on. You're so stuck in your muscle memory, but I mean, you kind of go up there first just because you need to get that small key, and I'm like, well, if I already have it, I might as well clear it out.
Mm-hmm.
The only kind of obnoxious part is it does feel like it handcuffs me to check the vanilla big key chest, but chests have a lot more value in Keysanity, so...
Yeah, that's true.
Yep. basically every location has a lot more value.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
it really
Um,
makes dungeons like Ice Palace, Skullwoods, and Misery Mire like really optimum dungeons because your requirements to check all the chests are very low once you can get in.
And to be fair, that's why I was not surprised to see that early pedestal check from you, Aaron. I believe it was you.
Yep. Yeah, I checked that pretty early.
What was on it?
Just Couch Cash today.
Yeah, yep.
Alas.
And even with all these like new, shiny new items that could be there, all this new pedestal text we could read, we still get Couch Cash.
Oh, what a beautiful triple for Ozzy to finish that fight off.
Very well done.
Oh, nice.
And there we go. We did miss a 15th place finish from Buane at 2:08 even, and ozipone finishing in 16th place with an official SRL time of 2 hours 10 minutes and 33 seconds.
Followed right afterwards by Dragon Master 0283 in 17th with 2:11:02.
There we go.
Yeah, definitely. I really love the aspect of Keysanity where those dungeons that normally suck and everyone hates are actually like really awesome to go to and give you a lot of stuff.
Yep, absolutely. It also like adds a little bit more nuance into situations where you can enter a dungeon but can't finish it because I mean there's so many more required items to finish a dungeon now because you got to go hunt down all the keys. So it's like, maybe I want to go into Turtle Rock, but maybe I want to put it off until I find another key and I can guarantee a trip to Mimic Cave, for example. Things like that. It's just a lot of new things to think about. It's sort of a breath of fresh air after playing so much of Standard and Open. It's like, yeah, this is this new fun thing, and it's really cool.
I agree 1,000% on that. You just don't feel as bad going into dungeons as you do in your other. You're just not like, oh, this is probably just a huge waste of time. Like, yeah, there's a lot more value.
Yeah, exactly.
Made opening chests fun again.
Yep.
Hooray!
Dude, you guys are doing like this perfect job selling Keysanity mode, like exactly the level of enthusiasm and excitement I wanted to do the whole night. It's so perfect.
I know.
It's
I swear
such
I'm
a
not
good
being
show.
paid. I'm
Sponsored
being
by.
genuine.
Yeah, if I have any time this week, I want to get in on a Keysanity. We will see.
Well, I think tomorrow at 2 p.m., Dr. Bobtastic, we'll have another Keysanity race.
Yeah, there's going to be a
Open to the
Keysanity
public.
race. There's going to be a Keysanity race every day this week.
Every day.
Sorry, I got excited.
It's great.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, there's also going to be an open mode race every day. And there will also be various other kinds of speed gaming channel supporter voted categories that will be done each day. You can find out, there's a tiny.cc link that I'm sure someone will put in the chat momentarily, where you can find out what the schedule is for the entire rest of this week, and then you'll be able to keep checking that document. It'll have the schedule in future weeks as well.
All right, so we've got Sir Peter Vars coming in at 18th place with a 2:31 or 2:13:01 time.
Dang, suddenly got docked 21 minutes. Did he not check validation chest or something?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Did any of the supporters get the Ganon's Tower big key guess correctly?
Second
What was it? Top left or Thieves Town
chest in Thieves Town.
I think I guessed like 73 or something, but I have no idea what number that was.
Your actual prediction was that it was in Hookshot Cave, if I recall
Yeah, that's
correctly.
correct.
Now, of course, Hookshot Cave didn't have the Ganon's Tower big key, but it did have so much value this time. It was ridiculous.
I already forgot what was in there.
It was mirror, flute,
Oh yeah,
Wait.
that's right.
Yeah, that's right.
That mirror.
Yeah, I
was
forgot about
there.
that.
Tweets were Hype Cave. Yeah, it was Tower of Hera, big key.
Yep,
Yeah, Tower
that's
of
right.
Hera.
Hmm. I remember, like, I picked up Tower of Parabaki and I'm like, wow, this is cool. I was looking for that. I wish I had the mirror to use it right now. And then, bam, right there.
Did you go explore inside Hera first before you did that?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I think everybody did.
Nice.
Felt so bad.
I guess I'll go
Yeah.
back.
It's like, it's almost no time at all if, like, no matter what, basically, unless you happen to find the big key in there.
Right. Of course.
All right. So,
Is that gonna
with that,
do it for us?
doesn't look like Ozipone will be joining us for a fourth interview. So I think, do any of our runners have anything else they'd like to say to the public?
Play more
Yeah,
Keysanity.
Yeah. Thanks for watching.
more
Play more Keysanity.
All right. So that's been a good one for all of us around. I enjoy these races, and I enjoy the community that we have here. There's just a whole lot of really nice people. I'm not sure how that happened.
I couldn't agree more, dude. Having kind of come in from the outside only kind of recently to this community, it's so awesome. There's so many cool people, and it's so much fun doing Randomizer. And well, it was a pleasure to be here today.
All right. So thank you to all of our runners in this race. We've still got some other runners running, so if you'd like to cheer them on, I'm sure you can find them on their own streaming channels. Thank you again to Kyong92, Acktheboker, AaronDobbe, and ozipone for allowing us to restream your races on this channel. Everybody did an excellent job playing today. I'd like to also thank our trackers, MathGirl718 and Mikan, for handling the trackers, which there was basically no way I could have tracked this and commentated at the same time. I don't even know. And of course, Willard J. Bradley for running the restream, and of course Fiesel for the actual hardware involved. And one more thank you going out to my co-commentator, Mr. Vuligin. Got it.
Well, thank you very much, Bob, and thank you to you two for, as always, fantastic commentary on all the races that you do, and for making this really awesome tonight.
I almost I basically almost called you the troll guy from World of Warcraft.
I mean,
Sorry about that.
It is a name of a troll character from World of Warcraft, but not that one. Different one.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed anything you saw here today, it'd be nice to give some of these people a follow. Don't have to, but it's a nice gesture, and it's a pretty good way to support them. Thank you all for watching. And with that being said, I have been Dr. Bobtastic.
I've been Vulgin.
And I will see you later.
Good night.